and there it goes through.
Yep, finally. This is, of course, a bit of harkening back to good old Genji back in the day with their early game comp of Jinx Azir.
Range. Like we saw almost this exact same composition yesterday from Live Sandbox. So
yeah,
it's that versus hyper scaling on the side of Nongshim here, and
a little bit frustrated. But let's get into it. Game 1 of Day 2, LCK Spring 2022. Nongshim Red Force taking on Humble Life Esports. Humble Life with their rebuild roster. I mean, Karras is just dead, right? Like, if he enters, this is exactly what happens. BDD just looks for the ult, and he'll find it. Dread now just going to flash on in, finds himself the Q, and finishes off the kill. That is first blood going over to Dread. And we On Fleek gonna look to try and get in there, but you can see Karras still rotating over. Inside track there for Canna as well, who's on full health. Still On Fleek looking to try and get in there. Flashes forward, looks for BDD, gets the flash out, and the dredge line is there to save the mid laner. Effort now trying to do what he can, but the rest of Humble Life have moved on over. Ghost tries to get the AoE, but now it's Dudu that's trying to get in there. Ghost with the zap. Can he actually make something happen? And the snipe from Samdi! Right out of left field, and Humble Life Esports find themselves the team fight.
Yeah, they win the team fight. It was very, very clutch there. Last minute rotation over, forcing that flash out of BDD early. Samdi at the right place at the right time. Ghost not able to block that final shot. They do secure the Rift Herald, so that is the most important part of this, but at least Humble Life Esports can get a crucial amount of gold back.
Yeah, On Fleek as well may have overstayed his welcome, and by may, I mean has overstayed his welcome. Blast Cone not actually there. Quick Draw going to come through. Wind doesn't really become lightning here, unfortunately, as Canna's going to flash. Don't know whether he necessarily needed to do that, but you want to make sure. Pretty good for Humble Life. Top side, that is going to deter Dread. Now Effort in a bit of trouble here. Vista taking a lot of damage as On Fleek tries to get on down. They get the flash out, as now Flash comes forward, and you were underneath your turret a second ago, Karras, and now you're on the other side of the map. It's just real difficult being a Syndra.
There's no
this time around, I don't think we're going to see Humble Life get that rotation over, although they are doing their very best to get over here, and you can see Karras actually changes his mind, decides instead to move towards that river. It's not going to be done in time, as the Q is going to connect onto On Fleek. He's actually flashing forward, looking for a little bit more, as Canna might be in trouble here. Collateral damage comes down, doesn't get over the wall though, does still have his flash. And actually, with that grid, he's pretty tanky. Dread dives back in once again, and they take down the Xin Zhao. That's the second kill, and this is the Nongshim team fighting that we were looking forward to seeing finally on display.
And he's already going into Oblivion Orb second here, so we're going to be looking for a lot of reduced healing.
Yeah, Dudu going to flash after Canna. Canna flashes away, does his best. There's the shield bow, and Dudu not going to be able to get there. Quick Draw comes back up in time, and he's not able to spin to win this time around. So as it feels like Nongshim are just getting more and more powerful as this game goes on. It's not necessarily represented in the gold just yet, as On Fleek thinks he's found Canna, but I don't know whether that's exactly the case. Decent stun there onto Effort to stop any sort of re-engage, as the zap is pretty painful. Canna still playing as far forward as he likes. Audacious Charge comes through. Canna still has the ultimate, uses it there, and On Fleek going to be very difficult for him to find another engage route.
Well, that was a really scary moment there for Karras as well. If Dread actually hits that and then goes for the flash kick, like that's a dead Syndra. He does avoid it narrowly though, and this is kind of a disaster here for Humble Life Esports. You're trapped between a rock and a hard place. You have to take this fight.
Yeah, posturing does come in. Ghost going to get stunned up. There is a flash on forward. Dudu thinks that he might have found it as Ghost tries to get out, but he's not going to be able to do so. Still, it's 2 kills going over to Nongshim here as Dudu doesn't have that Undying Rage anymore. BDD gets over the wall. I don't even think he wanted to there, but he's like, oh, well, I guess I'll just take the long way around. Dread, though, he's going to be all right. Has to flash out of the way, though, as it's a good stopwatch. Still, Canna is a one-man wrecking crew, destroying everyone on Humble Life Esports, and as soon as that ult wears off...
We have an insane clear time on this, too. By the time Humble Life Esports get close enough, it's going to be too late.
Yeah, and BDD can just get rid of On Fleek if he wants to as well, as he's trying to get over the wall. There's no flash available, no blast cone. Still, teleport going to come in, and Nongshim are going to respect it.
It's an easy turn here as soon as you see that the teleport's coming through from the Syndra.
All right. Oh, that's a great stun. Dudu tries to get over the wall. Not quite there. Max range on the dredge line, though, and goodbye, Rakan. Ghost now free hitting onto Dudu, who understands that 4 versus 5, they're not going to be able to make it work, and off that pick, it could just mean Baron.
Yeah, it certainly will. They were so close to getting it in the first place, but they see the Syndra teleport in, they turn on it. Even though the stun is good, the follow-up isn't. And every single fight that goes longer than about, 5 or 6 seconds is a winning one for Nongshim. They have better throughput.
Well, Curtain Call going to come in. This could be the last bastion of hope for stopping this Baron, but Sam D not going to be able to find enough damage there. Dredge line's good. Dudu will have to ult, and there's the ultimate from BDD. The Emperor's Divide really splitting up Harmer Life. He takes the Jhin out of the fight. Dread also able to clean up the Syndra, and BDD just swag walks his way out. They'll take a Baron now as well to augment this, and Nongshim to go as Ham because he did just wander around, got stunned by Syndra, and then helped tidy up at the end after BDD really did play a fantastic game. On Fleek now deciding that it's his time to try and go back in. It's a two-man ult again from BDD though as he goes golden. I think he's not going to survive this one though, as Super Mega Death Rocket does a fair bit of work. It is a 1-for-0 in favor of Hanwha here, as BDD unfortunately kind of throwing his life away there as Canna dives on in, grand exit from Vista, and now Canna might be in trouble. I hope this is Graves' throw. We've seen something like this last time around as Graves. Yeah, okay, yeah, he's the tank, mage, melee, assassin, monster.
Look at him go!
And also able to get himself out as soon as he wants to. The Jinx is going to fall down though as Vista. Yeah, you're just dead. That's just 2 auto attacks. Now the flash on forward. Canna wants to find even more as Dread says, yeah, we don't need an AD carry. We don't need a mid laner. All we need is this Mafia Graves.
On Ghost. Like, how do you ever pick these guys? They can outlast
3 items on this Jinx as well. Oh my god. Okay. Canna, 3 members of Harmer Life Esports. Can they actually kill him? As the ult has been used. Okay, can Dudu actually make this one work? He's like, nope, nope, my Undying Rage is worn off, get me out of here. And he instantly bails. In the meantime, Dread and BDD are destroying the base. It's like, don't end, I've got so much gold. Come on, I want to have more fun.
As we watch Kana actually 1v4 while his team opens the base. Yeah. He's like, I'm good.
Undying Rage quickness, there's the grand entrance.
He's like checking his items. He's like, yes, I do still have all these items, yes.
It's like he was getting knocked up and he was checking his watch. He's like, what time is it?
I mean, I'm actually genuinely enjoying this.
So, although it is playing with their food just a little bit, Vista might be able to come on over, and it looks like the man advantage is true for Harmer Life Esports. Good CC as BDD just says goodbye to them and then exits the fight completely. Dudu now with the Undying Rage won't have it available for the next fight as in goes Drake, gets knocked up beautifully by Vista. That was a great play to try and save his top laner as Dread. Yeah, I don't know. That was, just a little bit too much.
He's just letting Kana win the game.
In the meantime, Tanner is taking the Nexus turrets. He's done with this one. He's like, what are we doing still playing this game? We've got game 2 to win as well. As Karras now going to have to go back to his fountain. The Nexus turret number 1 does go down. BDD had teleported back into this one, and now the Nexus is exposed. Ghost going golden because he had a stopwatch, and he may as well use it. Karras uses his as well, but it's not going to be quite as successful as Ghost. And Nongshim will finally put game 1 to bed and debut with a win. I think I know where my POG vote would go.
I put it on Dread, man.
Oh. Well, I mean, I think Canna played a good game, but I think you could definitely argue for Dread.
I think Dread set up
very, very well.
Dread set up a free mid game for BD and Kana, and they
the 2 kills under Karras were what actually allowed. See what kind of build it's going to be as well, whether it's going to be the extra fun build or the not as extra fun build. We've seen both work. Fun build, of course, being the Luden's Variety, which is a whole lot of poke. And the other one just being regular crit, as per usual on the Corki. I'm looking forward to all the power spikes. BDD is on his Corki, the comfort of the Jace, right? There's so much about Nongshim, not necessarily purely based on composition, that is so good for them because of all the comfort picks.
And that's the assumption. We'll see how the build progresses.
Yes.
Yep, I feel like should be fine. I do like Tank Gragas just a little bit more, especially right now. And especially into a Jace. But now Nongshim trying to position around this Rift Herald. Some tussling as Shelly has been here for about a few seconds. On Fleek now in trouble. Crescent Guards heads over towards Shelly, asks for a help. True Shot Barrage is going to fly away, and Dudu is, of course, on his team. Is now Dudu looking for the solo kill. In goes Canna, tries to flash around, but it doesn't quite work. The solo kill is there. As now BDD down very, very low, gets himself over the wall on Fleek at about 100. But there is a man advantage here for Harmer Life Esports. Big misplay on the top side. really giving Harmolife Esports all of the avenues in. Now Vista trying to fight against Dread, who wants to get himself out, but he's not going to be able to. It's in fact the Karma that locks down the kill. This is an absolute disaster for Nongshim. Effort tries to save it. The flash from BDD is completely wasted, and this could be a delayed ace for Harmolife Esports.
It is a very, very large amount of gold going over the side of Harmolife Esports.
Still Dudu's quite strong. Oh my goodness, Ghost. That's danger. Hextech Drake is going to fall down in the meantime, and we've got a Chemtech Soul. Oh no.
First time.
Yep. Well, there it is. So now we've got a lot of camouflage action happening, and on fleek in a flash forward. Goodbye, BDD.
Yeah, I mean, vision here. They're going to try to grab this Herald, it looks like. But also, you've removed Corky from the map. He can't get money.
Also, Dudu. Oh, that was an outplay.
Sleek.
Yeah, really like it. Karis now looking to try and capitalize even further as Dread's making his way out. Teleport's coming in. Effort going to be augmented by BDD as OnFleet comes on through. Oh, the True Shot Barrage! Hits under 3 and takes down Dread on its way through. Beautifully done from SumD, and that's going to make it 7-1 in favor of Harmolife, and they'll take the second Rift Herald as well.
Yeah, I mean, when BDD is off the map like this,
trying to get it all back together. It is only 3,000 gold, I guess.
I mean, it's huge. It's not as big as we have seen.
And also, Dudu is really dead. Vista also trying to come on round. Does get the empowered Q, but otherwise not too much. So, doubling the kill score on the side of Nongshim. And that is going to be a second one going over to Effort. So we're gonna put that in the cons column just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of that for sure. Yeah, definitely not as good as it could have been.
Still, money's money, right?
Money's money. You'll definitely take it. It's going to give you a little bit of freedom as well on the bottom side of the map. You notice Kana is able to push freely there. Does have...
This is actually one of the strongest moments for Nongshim that we've seen this game.
They've got a really small window here. They got to use it.
Yeah. Well, Rift Herald is going to go down. That will deter, and it's going to just march up that bottom lane. Ghost taking a bit of damage. Does have red-white guns, which is certainly a good sign for Nongshim. Doesn't help with the poke, though. Calibrin would be nice for that one. Is now Dread able to wrap around, and Shirley is just going to cram her head into that inner turret. Canna's going to have to flash, get himself out of the way as the package was used as well. On Fleek has to ult early, and Ghost is nowhere near this fight. The rest of Nongshim grouping around this Drake, but a slight disconnection. Not having their Aphelios is certainly bad news.
Yeah, this is going to be really, really tough to contest here now for Harmolife Esports. But the Rift Herald is getting worked on top, so it's not all for free.
Yep, can Ghost get into this fight actually is going to be the question. As BDD's in trouble, the Chaos Storm doing work onto Effort in the meantime. They do manage to lock down the Drake, but Lee Sin has to trade his life. As Canna with no flash is just going to fall down. The gravity field is just beautiful, and that is going to do it. Dudu almost falls down, but will survive in the end. And it's another one fight for Harmolife Esports, but not Soul Point.
Yeah, it's not Soul Point, and that's pretty huge because, I mean, the Victor, who already has Crown on top of the items he will have when that Soul is coming around, and then the ability to resurrect and then do it all again is definitely something you don't want to be dealing with here as Nongshim. Now, Harmolife Esports is going to take this mana badge and try to turn it into a sneaky Baron. This is extremely greedy.
Yeah, this is risky. As this is a poke comp, remember, this is exactly where Nongshim want them. Can they bait Nongshim in? That's a lot of damage there with that big one coming through. Effort, going to take a fair bit of damage here as Ghost off to the side. That dredge line was definitely going to be death, and Harmolife Esports do it. They just lock down the Baron, and they'll walk their way out. Ghost takes a lot of damage, not going to be able to snipe the kill onto Effort, which slink off into the Chemtech smoke.
It's pretty incredible how much time Nongshim buy here, actually, in this scenario. And, okay, hold that thought.
Yeah, that's very dead VDD. Now Effort trying to make his way out. The Shock Blast does some work, but not quite enough, as the Inspire Shield's there as well, and the inner turret will eventually go down.
I mean, 3 deaths on BDD is 3 times he's not soaking up that gold he so desperately needs. Obviously, now he's at least got the 2 items spike, but he's spent so much time off the Rift that he's so far behind. He's been 2 levels behind Karis for quite some time. Not to mention the bottom inhibitor is open, basically.
Well, that's a great body slam there as the kickback finally works onto Dudu. I think he's going to die this time as the Q is going to be avoided. All right, Dudu, kind of like this level of swagger.
And he's in Chemtech Rift. It's hard to chase.
Yeah. Q, oh, just barely missed. Can we have another range buff onto that ability? And now they're just wasting time. Even if Dudu dies here, it's still worth. As the Shock Blast will connect, but Dudu's out of there.
He's out. They gave everyone enough time to reset.
Yeah, package delivered here as the teleport's going to come forward. The ult does come out from OnFleek, but Karis is going to make his way in. Chaos Storm comes down as well. A lot of damage onto BDD and Effort. He has Well, Canna's going to have to go back trying to defend this Nexus turret. He's not going to be able to do so.
And they won't get the Baron either.
Well, they might have an opportunity. I mean, Dread does have Smite available. Might need to be an absolute hero here as the Moonlight Vigil does come through. Fair bit of damage, but Ghost is also going to take that True Shot Barrage. Good knock-up onto Dudu there by the Baron. Thank you very much, Baron, for that one. Maybe a Nongshim fan, as another knock-up does come in. Yeah, Dread's going to come through, but not going to be able to steal it away. It's On Fleek that has the right Smite finger, and that is the second Baron for Harma Life Esports. And so really nicely done, and honestly, I kind of thought that this Harma Life Esports was going to be a big old downgrade and that Nongshim was the team that we should be looking out for. But in this game, Harma Life really defying our expectations. Samdi as well has just been brilliant on this Ezreal. And this time around, Karis was not shut down. And he's showing us why he was so good in Challenger.
Yeah, and BDD really dropping the ball in this Corki pick, I have to say. Felt like a flex considering Kana picking up that blind Jace, and it is not working out.
Well, that's a cast. Not exactly one that's going to do too much now as Dread thinks that this is his opportunity, but he gets exploded before he could do anything. The Crescent Guard comes down and On Fleek is immortal, dives on forward, and Ghost going to have to try and get to the fountain. He's unable to do so. It's a double kill for Samdi. Kana is well and truly dead as On Fleek grabs that kill, and the Nexus evaporates. Damage, of course, that's how it's going to work. Yes, Kana doubled the damage of Dudu, but it doesn't actually matter because they're a poke comp. That's exactly what they're supposed to do. And Harma Life Esports were able to navigate it, and I think a lot of it had to do with that bottom side. I think the first pick, Karma, really demonstrating how but in a melee matchup there towards the bottom side as far as the supports are concerned, still works out relatively well, and the face breakers can still really cause some issues for Nongshim.
It feels like there's a lot of comfort here for Nongshim. Dread loves his Lee Sin. He's great on melee champions like the Lee Sin, the Xin Zhao. We've talked about this so much. It's one of his best champions.
I want Harma Life Esports to have to work for it. And I think that they have a comp that can actually make that work, especially if they play as well as they did in game number 2. But let's see how it goes. We hop onto the Rift here for the deciding match between Nongshim and Harma Life Esports. The Rift Scuffler. So nothing really to worry about here in the early stages as Facebreaker is going to connect there. Ghost tries to find the zap onto Vista. Haymaker going to be avoided as the Chompers are down. Vista going to get stunned, but otherwise doesn't take too much as On Fleek. Right place at the right time as this wave is crashing forward to see whether these rockets are actually going to be enough.
They have no vision on him.
Yeah, Zap is going to go entirely wide as well as Ghost flashes himself out of the way. Vista still with turret aggro, almost dies, but doesn't as Effort has to flash to get himself out of the way as well. It was navigated beautifully. They're almost too greedy, but first blood does go to Harma Life Esports.
And, you know, we're going to see a little bit more of blood up here first.
Yeah, flash forward. Canna puts him in the smoke screen, and now he has the upper hand. Couple more autos. Flashes now down from both, as there's the quick draw first. End of the line is most definitely that, and Canna will be able to take even more. Has been short-sighted and then flashing away, and Dudu being like, where the heck do you go? What's going on here? As On Fleek has now found Dread. Gonna have to get that smite off. Been nerfed a little bit, that particular tactic, but is going to work out here for the moment. Ghost not going to find the zap onto Vista just yet. Plate Gold still going over to Nongshim, as we can see, as On Fleek does manage to get his Grump, and BDD now with the inside track, looking for the Xin Zhao, does get himself to the correct side, but look at this, it's a great scatter, but BDD is still dead, manages to take one on the way out, flashes away from Karis, he will still likely die, but that looked so sick. Effort also getting a kill off to the back end, but it's a 2 for 2 and one that looked pretty cool.
Oh, it's a 2.
Scatterly close. Hanwha do grab control of the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, Hanwha are in a fantastic position to control this choke with a Victor, right? And the composition that is going to very easily collapse onto this. Now, Dread can't really look for a kick play here. He doesn't have flash either, so they're just kind of sitting here dead in the water, and this is going to be a free Herald. I think collapsing now would be super risky, and I think ill-advised. Look at all the vision they have, too.
Yeah, Dread actually thinking about maybe going for a potential steal or something like that as Canna dives on forward, gets his face broken though, and immediately will blow up. Dread now has to get out, and I'm not entirely sure what that play was.
I mean, this is a showcasing of... all the time will tell how well he's going to hit those skill shots, but if his True Shot Barrage is any indicator, it's a good look.
Well, here's the curtain call, and it might just be curtains for Ghost as he gets underneath the turret, but is still just going to get popped. I love how OnFleek leaves that for SumD to pick up, and good night, Sweet Jinx.
Caster Blessing, right there. That's all it takes. We just go like, let's see how he does. How good are those shots? Well,
see whether OnFleek does decide to go for any sort of steal attempt, as Dudu is making his way in. But now it's HLE Esports' turn to be a little bit late to this party. OnFleek full health though, and now finds BDD. The flash immediately comes out, and this boy is absolutely huge. The Syndra taken down immediately, and the Superplex is massive. Face Break is brilliant as well. The Vista maybe a little bit early, as Dread is going to be able to finish him off, but now OnFleek finds him on the back end. Canna trying to get some work done, but the end of the line may not be it for HLE. It might be it for Canna instead, as now the back is going to come through and Ghost desperate to try and get himself out. Not going to work, as Gravity Field also not exactly going to do it, but Dudu still has his ult, by the way, guys. As, okay, Flame Chompers are good, and Dudu might die. Nope.
Just barely going to get out of there. That's the ace.
And not too much of a worry here as he does get himself over towards this outer turret. The Canna is obliterating.
He lost his crown.
There's a red buff here on Canna, but he's still going to get stunned up. Chaos Storm goes down. This could just be a solo kill from Karis, potentially, as he can't escape this Chaos Storm. Eventually does make it out, as Ghost could be in trouble. Wind becomes lightning, does connect. However, the turret is close enough, and BDD also there. Great dredge line to come through. Depth charge as well onto SumD, but he just stands his ground in effort. He's too far forward. The rest of HLE rotate beautifully as the curtain. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. That's fine. Just
and longer-term damage. Is Connor's going to hope for this one.
Yeah, looks for it. Gravity Field not exactly in the right position. As Chaos Storm, let's see whether it works. Morellonomicon being put to the test here as there's Flash follow after Flash. One more auto and Canna will be able to do it, and he grabs the shutdown. Nicely done from the Graves. Canna gets the outplay very nicely. And especially when one of the tanks, I guess, is a DPS that can go immortal. As Effort's going to get flashed on here by Vista, smacked into the wall as well as Dredgeline does come through. His flash on cooldown, as that's a great scatter once again. Chaos Storm will end up finishing it off with the help of the Wind Becomes Lightning, as Canna trying to fight this one out against Dudu. The Chicken's there doing a fair bit of work, as now Dudu has finally pressed that ult button. Can he get the auto? And he does so. The flash is going to get employed. Canna just barely away from his flash opportunity. As now Dread moving on over gets the bad news that HLE Esports are already on this Baron. And BDD trying to get in there. Scatter going to go wide. That's a big tool as OnFleek gets himself over that wall. That was actually his flash. I thought it was Hex Flash for a second there, but it wasn't. That was just trying to flash forward. Looks for it, doesn't quite get it, as now Dread's in trouble. Goodbye. And that is the jungler dead. Super Mega Death Rocket avoided. It was Vista actually body blocking to make sure that one doesn't happen. And another great Baron here from HLE Esports, and the curtains have been called. BDD absolutely nowhere he can go. The last shot will do it, as now Ghost smacked down by Vista, and that is an angry Annie, almost an ace, as Effort had just respawned.
Totally different story.
Yeah, HLE just playing it beautifully. Once again, it is the Tryndamere story as well, up against the Graves. Now it's a 3-1 as far as that matchup is concerned, assuming that Dudu is going to be able to win this out. He's trying to walk this one off, and it will be the Super Mega Death Rocket that secures it in the end. And now Nongshim trying to chase down HLE. OnFleek goes in to try and see whether he can grab something in the end. This curtain call is doing so much damage. Oh, the last shot not going to land, though, and Nongshim will be able to get them out of their base.
And
so the top side will be taken down. That'll stem the bleeding for now.
I wasn't sure what the Nexus turret health was. For a second, I thought they might lose a Nexus turret for it, but it's just the first crash there of that super minion wave, so we'll be fine. We'll be returned, but HLE Esports buying a lot of time now.
Okay, that's the kickback onto Karis. Depth charge comes in, as now Canna looking for his opportunity. See whether he can actually get the work done, as SumD does move on in, gets himself the deadly flourish, and Canna is going to get taken down at least to his shield bow. Karis takes a lot of killing, but will eventually go down, and manages to take Effort in the meantime.
And BDD
needs to actually hit the buttons. He doesn't manage to do so in time, as SumD moves on in to get rid of him. Dread is actually doing what he needs to do, which is denying this Infernal Soul, but Vista is going to make his life harder. I don't think this is really going to be able to do too much.
I mean, the
smite button is going to be a big deal, but SumD has decided that he wants to just finish the game.
Yeah.
He's going to get a lot of work done on these Nexus turrets.
And this is what you're looking for here is HLE. Yeah, okay, you wanted to contest me on the Drake, that's fine. I've got a Tryndamere walking down mid, and he's got ultimate coming online, so he just clicks on the Nexus and presses R, and that's GG.
Enough to save his life in that moment, but now the full brunt of HLE Esports are coming down. Vista, great face breaker, finds BDD, and he's taken taken down first. The curtains are most definitely being called. As, man, that deadly flourish is also absolutely fantastic. Ghost now running for the hills, but that is the wrong direction, my friend. The Haymaker will help secure it, and the Nexus will be taken down. Another upset as Life Esports take down Nongshim Red Force and really check them. Damn, Samdi. Players like this as we have a look at this post-game graph. And yes, Canada did a fair bit of work for Nongshim in comparison to Dudu, but Samdi, man. Phew, welcome to the LCK, my friend. I hope you have a nice stay.
Oh, yeah. My expectations were fairly low. You know, people had said good things about what he did on weaker teams in the LPL, of course, but
네, 하나생명의 온플릭
Thank you
선수,
very much,
쌈디
guys.
선수 만나보겠습니다.
This
승리
is the interview
축하드립니다.
translation joined here by the two top players on Life
먼저
Esports.
온플릭
It's
선수
Onflick and
공백기가
Samdi.
있었지만 실력은 여전한 것
And
같습니다.
you are popping
첫
off
승부가
Onflick
들어올게요.
after having a bit of a hiatus. How are you feeling picking up your first victory? You know, I was really, you know, aware of the fact that the first match is really important, so I'm happy that we got this victory. How are you able to maintain such a great performance? I mean, even if I didn't play on stage, I was also always working hard, so I wasn't too worried about coming back on stage. And Samdi, this is your first interview in Korean. You know, how are you feeling? It feels way more comfortable. And this is your first LCK match as well. How are you feeling about picking up the first victory right away? I knew that we would win. What about you, Onflick? Yeah, I would like to join him. I was also confident that we were going to win. However, it was a comeback victory for Life Esports. How were you guys able to turn the series around? Because they had a good AD carry. Onflick, do you agree with them? For now, for today, yes. I approve that. What kind of conversation did you guys have before having this match? Because a lot of people thought that Nongshim is a tough opponent. We were pretty confident in ourselves and we thought that we were very strong, so we weren't too worried about them, you know, facing against them. And Samdi, that wave to the fans as well, super cool. But how are you feeling? You know, were you able to sleep well yesterday? Yeah, I had some good sleep. And Onflick, now you are the captain of your team and you are the one to lead the Life Esports squad. What kind of role are you planning to, you know, pull off? Whenever the younger guys are going to the wrong path, I will try to put them on the right way. Is there any specific name you would like to tell us? No, I actually managed to, you know, put them in the right place whenever they seem like they are making some trouble. And Onflick, you are very well known for your dad jokes as well. Do they like it? I actually haven't done one here at Life Esports because I know that people are expecting that from me, but I actually don't. Not anymore. Then Samdi, what kind of person is Onflick to you? He's very silly, but he's really nice. Are you sure? For real? He needs some punishment after this. And also, you know, he doesn't really talk much, but he always takes good care of every player. And I can just tell he's always thinking a lot of things by himself. Mostly about games, you know, and matches. Then what about Samdi? Onflick, what do you think of his performance today? He was popping off. I mean, in game, he does a great job. Very reliable, and if you have Samdi on your bottom lane, you know, you will definitely win the late game. However, outside the game, in real life, he's the weirdo.
오늘 말씀해주신 대로 성장도 굉장히 잘했고 좋은
And
활약
just like
보여줬는데
Onflix
특히나
said,
진이
Samdi,
정말
you
대단했거든요.
were so fat in the
가장
late
자신 있는
game, and
픽일까요?
especially on that Jhin, you
아니,
were pulling off a great
그러면
performance.
어떤 픽을
Is
기대해
that
보면
your favorite
좋을까요?
champion?
칼리스타요.
No, my
오,
favorite is
굉장히
actually
공격적인
Kalista.
모습 기대해 보겠습니다. 자 그러면 1, 2,
Moving
3세트
on,
모두 신짜오
in
대
both
리신 구도가
3 games, we had Lee Sin
펼쳐졌잖아요.
versus
사실
Xin
1세트
Zhao.
패배 이후에
in the
그래도
jungle.
이 구도 자신 있다고 생각했던
Were you
건지
confident
여쭤보고
in
싶거든요.
that matchup even after losing game number 1?
5대5라고 생각하고
I always
있어서
think that it's a
그냥
50-50
저희가
matchup.
뭔가
So
잘못을
if
한것
we
같아서
can fix the
딱히
mistakes that we
의식하지
made earlier, I wasn't too worried about the matchup itself. Lee Sin, Xin Zhao, and J4 are the top 3 champions in the current jungle meta. Do you also agree with that?
비에고도 들어갈 수
I think
있을 것
Viego
같아요.
can also
4대
join the
느낌?
squad
대천왕 느낌?
and become the 4 top
좋습니다. 이렇게
jungle
요즘
champions.
정글 메타에 대한 티어 정리까지 해주셨고 그리고 쌈디 선수
And
이제
Samdi,
계속해서 하나생명이
Hana Life Esports.
가져가면서 이게
In this series,
라인전부터
actually,
강하게
last
가져가려는
picked
건가 하는 느낌이
the
들었거든요.
support champions
바텀 쪽
in most of the
뱀픽
games.
전략은
So
어떻게
is that the main strategy?
바텀에서
You know, focusing on the
최대한
laning phase?
유리한 뱀픽을
Yeah, we try
짜고
to
있어요.
have
음,
better
거기에
matchup down on the
그걸
bottom lane and have
본 게임에서도
priority.
보여주는 쌈디 선수 같습니다. 자 그러면 새 시즌 이렇게 기분 좋게
Now,
출발하게
this is a
되면서
great start
이제
to
새
a
시즌에
new
대한 기대도
season.
높아졌을 것 같습니다. 온플릭 선수
A lot of people are
개인적인
now
목표 들어볼게요.
having a high expectation
당연히
around Hana Life
플레이오프
Esports.
진출하는 거고요.
What's your goal for
그렇게
this year or
플레이오프
this
가서도
split?
저희가 잘한다면
Making it into playoffs,
결승전까지도
and if
가보고
we do
싶습니다.
well at the
좋습니다.
playoffs, I hope we can
그러면
make it
쌈디
to the
선수의 개인적인
finals.
목표도 들어보고 싶어요.
What about your personal
LCK에서
goal,
어떤
쌈디?
선수로 성장하고 싶나요?
What kind of a player do you want to
저도
become
플레이오프는
in
가고
the
싶고요.
LCK? A player who, you know,
구마유시랑
made it to
경쟁하는
the
건데
playoffs and an AD carry that competes
저
with
개인적으로
Kuma
너무너무
Yusi.
기대가 됩니다. 아, 맞다.
looking
근데
forward to that
온플릭
matchup
선수가
against
선수
Kuma
만나면
Yusi as well.
혼내주고 싶다고
And
했잖아요.
also about the matchup
기분
against
어떤가요?
Effort. You said you
아주
wanted
혼쭐이
to,
나서
you know, teach him some
울고 있을 것
lessons.
같습니다.
I'm pretty sure he must be
또
crying
잘
right now.
달려주시길 바라겠습니다. 그리고 다음 상대는
Your next
프레디 브리온입니다.
opponent
엄지
is Freddy
선수에게
Brion.
성공 한마디
And
부탁드릴게요.
a message over to Umti.
엄티 선수가 이제 초반에 좀
Umti,
기가 막힌 동선 설계,
he is really
그런
good
거에
at,
좀 강점이
you know,
있는 것
early
같은데
game jungle
다
pathing.
원천 차단.
So I'm gonna
아무것도
shut that
못하게
down from the
만들겠습니다.
get-go, and
묶어두겠다. 좋습니다.
I'm gonna have my
쌈디
own
선수도
game
해나
in that
선수랑
series.
친하잖아요.
Samdi,
맞대고
I heard
놔두고
you
한마디
are good
해볼까요?
friends with Hena.
네,
Any message
해나
over to
형은
him?
항상 볼 때마다 아쉽다고 생각해서
Hena, I
제가
mean,
이길 것 같아요.
he's always not playing well, to be perfectly honest, you know. Kind of disappointing all the time, so I'm pretty sure I can win.
경기장을 찾아주신 팬분들께 한마디씩 부탁드리겠습니다.
And there were a lot of fans
선수.
out here. Any message over
저희
to
팀
the
되게
fans?
오랜만에 이제 유관중으로
It's
경기를
been a while, very
하는데
long while,
뭐
playing on
항상
stage
저희 팀
with
응원해 주셔서 감사하고요.
the fans
앞으로도
here. So I
저희
always
팀
appreciate
열심히 할
your
테니까 계속
support,
응원해 주시길.
and we will keep
Yeah.
working hard.
쌈디 선수도 한마디 안 할 수 없죠.
What about you, Samdi?
저도 한국인 관중 처음 보는데
This is first time seeing a
앞으로도
Korean
계속 많이
audience
찾아주시고
at the venue,
응원해
so
주시면 감사하겠습니다.
keep coming to Lowell Park,
네,
and
오늘
I will
축하드리고
always
앞으로도
appreciate
멋진
your
모습
support.
기대해보겠습니다.
And this will be the end of the
축하드립니다.
interview from the Hana Live Sports POG, and back to our analysts. Thank you.